Ahoy there, YouTube. Got Spud up inside the garage today. We're going to be knocking out some shifty stuff. We're going to do shift boots, bushings, all sorts of shift-related stuff. Let's go check it out. All right, so Spud is going to get quite the overhaul this year. We're going to start with some of the smaller stuff right now because the bigger stuff can be really time-consuming, but it'll be fun. For the starters, one of the things we're going to do is we are going to put in new four-wheel drive shifter sticker because this car never had one when I got it. We're going to throw some new shifter boots on that are made out of old used seat material, which is really cool. I'll show you how to get a set of these, show you where to get this at, and then I'm going to go ahead and change the shifter boots and bushings and a handful of other things. So let's go knock this out. So these awesome boots are made out of an old seat material. There's a guy on the Tercel four-wheel drive Facebook group. His name is Cody. He is recreating these, both the four-wheel drive and the regular shifter boot. I will go ahead and link his email in the description and link on how to get a hold of him on the Facebook group. And these you can find on eBay, and I'll same with all the shifter boots and bushings and stuff like that we'll knock out. For now, let's go ahead and get this thing pulled off. I'm sure you guys have seen me pull this off in a dozen videos in the past. It's like the video where I did my cup holders and stuff like that. But there's 4 Phillips screws, one on each side of here. And then there's going to be 2 right back over here. So I'm going to pull these all out and get this console off. All right, all 4 screws are out. I'll put those on our workbench, aka the dashboard. Now this should just come straight up. Oh, forgot the knobs. All right, now we can thread off. Just kidding, gotta get that out first too. Boy, I'm running into obstacles a lot today. And voila, that shows us what this looks like underneath. Now I'm gonna go ahead and jump to another car, which is actually going to be Stomper over there. And Stomper's gonna get some new shift boots and bushings, so let's cut to that real quick. Car jump. I know this isn't Spud, but this car needs a shifter bushing way more than Spud currently does. You know the massive process of doing things on this. So I'm going to go ahead and knock the shifter bushing out on this thing. Okay, we'll go ahead and pull this boot off now. This should slide all the way up here. It's going to be a little bit tight on the shifter, but it'll slide up. There we go. Ooh, look at this boot. That is completely destroyed. Don't worry, I will show you a replacement for this in a moment. Let's first pop this thing off. Oh, huh. I wonder why my gear changes are so crunchy. The best way to clean this out would be get some compressed air. But what I need to do now is there's 2 little openings for an internal snap ring right here. You can probably see the prong. There's 1 prong right there and 1 prong right there. So I'm going to go grab a pair of snap ring pliers and we're going to compress this together and pop this shifter out. Here's my snap ring pliers I'm going to use right here. We'll go over top of this. Half the snap ring is out. So we can go from here and we kind of work it around with a screwdriver. Okay, snap ring is out. I'm going to lay that up on the workbench, aka dashboard, and then this should just pull straight up. It might take a little bit of pulling, especially if you got a bunch of debris in it like this, but out it comes. And inside of here, there should be a shifter bushing, which this one is more or less doesn't exist at all. Like there is a teeny little piece of felt in there. That's the remnants of the shifter bushing. There should be a lot more than that in here. So, the good news is, though, it is not full of oil. If this is full of oil, there is a little seal on the inside that goes in and connects to that shifter, and it's leaking gear oil. A lot of times, if you're having hard shifting in the wintertime or when it's really cold out, there's a good chance that that seal is bad underneath this plate right here, and that's what's causing all of the oil to leak in here. There is 6 bolts. It's really hard to get to without a 10mm ratchet or a swivel head wrench or a swivel head socket, but you can access them. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of vacuum this debris out over in here, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys the new bushing, and we'll get this slapped back together. Okay, so this bottom bushing down here is actually in pretty good shape, so I'm not going to bother replacing it. I will throw the part number right here in the little spot, and I'll also put it in the description. This is the seat bushing right here. So this is the bushing that came out of it, what was left. And this is what is supposed to be in here. And you can see the material difference alone right there. There's a lot of stuff missing. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that in there, throw this back on, put the snap ring back on, and then this right here is our new boot. These are off of an old Jeep for like a CJ or something like that. I don't know my Jeeps very well, but 81 to 86 CJ. You can get these on Amazon for like literally $6 or eBay. They're really cheap. So anyway, let's go throw this thing in here and get moving forward. Oh yeah, there's so much more actual material there. We're losing light fast, so I'm gonna have to get a flashlight, but this just kind of seats right inside of there. Grooves are gonna go around those little tabs on the side. Okay, as you can see, bushing is laid in there. It's a tad bit crooked over here. I did this like 5 times. I retook this, trying to get a decent camera angle at it, but I unfortunately can't. This seal is extremely flexible. You can pretty much fold it completely inside out, so don't feel bad bending the crap out of it. Basically, I pinched it on the sides where these little pins are and pushed it in and then kind of just rolled it around. So we're all laid out in there. Again, this is good at the bottom. It's not full of oil. It's a little bit crusty, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and toss this back in here, get her seat in flush. Looks like we're pretty good there. Now we're gonna go ahead and toss this snap ring back in place. All right, we are in business. Once again, the Jeep boot. This will slide right over the end of the shifter. It's gonna be a little bit tight to slide down, but that's what you want. I mean, this rubber tight. All right, looks like we rolled it inside out ever so slightly, but no big deal. There we go. And that literally slides perfectly over top of this. As you can see, shifter boot is on and nice and snug. This is, you obviously can't feel it, what I'm feeling, but this is so much tighter. Like, and it's so much more smooth too. And a lot of that was probably the rocks, but this doesn't like rock back and forth side to side anymore. So definitely worth it. Once again, here's the part numbers. I'll link them in the description. I'll slap them across the screen. And trust me, it's worth your guys' time. I'm not going to bore you to death with putting this back together. Obviously, you saw where all the screws went, the knobs, the whole 9 yards. So let's go back over to Spud over there. All right, I'm going to start by cleaning this little thingy off right here a bit. Just making a giant mess on my workbench. It's all good. This thing is kind of full of crap. And dirty. Alright, it's not perfect, but it's better than it was. So, hopping over here, there's going to be 4 little tabs that are holding this old shift boot in place. So I'm going to carefully attempt to pry them up and get that thing over there. There we go. Out comes the old boot. This one comes pre-wired with a piece of metal in it. So, let's go ahead and slap the new one in. All right, we got her all snapped in place. Basically all I did was I kind of pushed it up against that piece right here and lined these 2 tabs up and then pushed it down and lined these 2 tabs up and got it back in there. So, overall, not so bad. Pretty easy to do. Next up, we're going to do the 4-wheel drive one. That's this one right here. He has this all trimmed up, front, rear, marked with paint with Sharpie on the back of it, which is pretty nice. This I'm pretty sure is like hot glued on, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to pry it off right now. See if I can't get it to pop free without destroying the plastic and this little metal bracket right there. I could probably drill these like little plastic glue rivets out. Wonder if I could like melt those out. There we go. There's all this old boot material right there. Well, what's left of it anyway. Alright, so I'm going to slip in what Cody's recommendation was for installing this boot. I did not do it his way, mostly for the fact that some of my tabs are broken, and that's my fault. When I removed it, I wasn't very careful, as you guys saw, but yeah, oh well. For what this is, it's going to be perfectly fine. So I punched a couple of holes in the fabric. I'm going to try to slip them over the remaining tabs, if possible. Slide that right over top of this. Alright, well, time to do the boring stuff, like gluing and waiting, so we'll cut back in a few. Alright, here we are all back together now. I kind of screwed this up over here in the corner, so the glue is dry now, so I'm going to have to kind of take things apart and monkey with it a little bit later, but well, Cody does offer you installation with this, but I had him just ship it to me plain because I was like, oh, I'll install it myself, it'll be, you know, a cool video, and then I made it look ugly, so, oh well. Now, let's go ahead and throw this sticker right here, and that I'm very excited about. All right. Like I said, I got these off eBay. For some reason, this car never had the sticker on it. I don't know if the previous owner removed it, or if just the newer generations of cars didn't come with them. But today, we're going to fix that. And voila! Not too bad, eh? I think it looks a lot nicer. Matches the interior. What's clean about the interior anyway, matches the clean parts-ish. So, I don't know. Spud's got a lot of work that's going to be happening this year. I'm going to do some body work on it, change the carpet out, fix a bunch of the interior pieces. I got tons of stuff planned for this little girl this year. She's been incredibly reliable. It's taken me well over 40,000 miles of adventures over the last 4 or 5 years. And, she deserves to be treated the same way she's treated me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get her fixed up this summer. Stay tuned. Hopefully I got a bunch of fun videos coming out of this old girl sometime this year. If all goes well, according to life and plans and you know how things go. But should all go well, things will be happening with this car. So appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys learned a few things, and I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.